Hi everyone. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to come on and say I wish you the most amazing 2023 and on. I want to thank you for supporting me through the year. I know I don't show my face very often, but I will try and do that more often in the coming year. I think we are going to have a very interesting 2023. I think that obviously there is a lot of good and bad that we can expect. We have very intense astrology this year, the most intense astrology since 2020. But we have some really good things happening as well. For example, we have Jupiter now in Aries, starting a brand new cycle around the zodiac. So it's a brand new beginning for everyone, really. If you think about your life in the last 12 years, Jupiter will have come kind of full circle for you from your house of Aries to where it is now again. It's bringing gift, lots of blessings. It's bringing growth opportunities, and it's also bringing wisdom. So you can look at that house, and that is also the house where the North Node will be moving into in the middle of the year, bringing more connections and moving us more towards that independence in that area. But before I get to that, that's the one very positive thing as well. But we also have the Uranus-Saturn square that we've had all of last year, the previous year as well. That's been very frustrating, keeping us very blocked or restricted in some way in our lives. So in some area of your life, you felt frustrated, blocked, like you can't move enough. There's somewhere where you need more freedom, more flexibility, maybe a pattern you needed to break away from, or a person or a job, or wanted to make a move you couldn't make, or whatever it may have been for you. It could even have been something very personal and internal for you. That square is now moving into a sextile this year, which is so much more harmonious. And it's going to, and this is happening in March. So if there's those things that you really want to make happen this year, that you really want to forward now, you want to wait till around that time to really move it forward. And so that's a really positive, wonderful thing. So there's a release there. There's a breakthrough there. We also have a Mars retrograde right now, also, of course, till the middle of January, which is really helping us to think where we are putting our energy. Is it worth it? What are we passionate about? Are we working smartly? And really reassessing what is worth our energy as well. And also dealing with our self-control and anger issues that we may have could be coming up at this time in that area for your life. But really, we have so much happening this year. It's a very intense year. We will have eclipses in the Taurus and Scorpio axis, as well as the Aries and Libra axis, because the nodes will be moving into Aries and Libra in the middle of the year. So as well as all the financial changes that'll be happening in the world and the war and peace energies that we have, this will continue because both Taurus and Scorpio, as well as Aries and Libra, are ruled by Mars and Venus. So it's definitely an energy exchange, moving from fixed to cardinal energy, from earth to fire, and from water to air. But it's still dealing with balance. It's still dealing with war and peace. It's still dealing with relationships. So we're still going to have a lot of relationship things to deal with, money, balance, all of that. Me versus you, and so forth. So just continue with the work and the healing and the forgiving. Saturn will be moving into Pisces, of course, as well. And this can bring up a lot of water issues, but it's really a sign of release and endings. So it's really a time to really purify and detox your lymphatic system, and really focus on what you put into your body and what you are feeding yourself and nutrifying yourself with. okay, and staying away from anything that's deceptive. But we also have Pluto dipping its toe into Aquarius this year. So we will have, for a short period, until it permanently moves into the sign of Aquarius around 2024. But we will get an idea of what that transit could bring for us. And so that will be very interesting as well to see. It gives us a bit of foreshadowing there as well. But I think especially that there's a fire in our belly this year with the North Node moving into Aries. So we're becoming more assertive. We're standing up for our rights. We're fighting for our freedoms. We are going to want to take more charge of our lives and initiate those changes that we want to make, that we've been waiting to make. We're going to be more self-confident. We're going to tap into that sense of self. What makes us tick? Where do we want to focus our energy on? And especially now with this Mars retrograde, we've been given opportunity to really see where we want to put our energy and who we want to put our energy towards as well. And so they say where your focus goes, your energy flows. So it's important this year to see where your focus is and where it needs to be, and to focus on fully being your authentic self and expressing yourself and standing up for yourself and your rights and your freedoms. So we are moving forward this year. We are changing. Oh yes, and the Mercury retrogrades are in all earth signs this year. At least the first 3 of them. The last one I'm not really spending too much time on right now because it's at the really, really end of the year. So to me, it's kind of more into next year. But I would say it's all happening in Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. So we're dealing with practical solutions in our everyday lives, in our everyday structures and material worlds around us. So we're making changes, we're initiating, and we are standing up for ourselves and being assertive. So this is wonderful. So I recommend really purifying your thoughts, really getting clear on what it is that you desire and where you want to take your life. How are you going to create the life that you want? It starts, of course, by accepting that which we cannot control and surrendering the rest to God. It also starts with accepting responsibility for the reality in our lives that we have created, and forgiving, letting go, and taking control of what we can, and realizing that we cannot control others or what they decide, taking control of what we can in a healthy and balanced way, and making choices moving forward, practical solutions moving forward. So I wish you the best, most curious and wonder-filled 2023. May the sun shine bright on you this day. May there be blessings coming your way. Until next time. Bye-bye. Welcome, Leo Rising. This is your 2023 Astrology Horoscope potentials. Pluto has been in your 6th house since 2008, of health, daily routines, schedules, details, responsibilities, work environment, employees, tenants, trouble, stress, pets, work, and also civil service work or anything to do with wearing a uniform or serving others. Now, Pluto usually begins by breaking down the area of life it moves through and then rebuilds it transformed and renewed and aligned with your truth. You have been passing through Pluto's complete transformation since 2008, diving deeper into health topics. If you have had previous health concerns that were ignored, they may have come into awareness during this long transit. In some severe cases, you can have a health breakdown of some sort and then a process of purification and regeneration into a stronger and healthier you than ever. So Pluto here can have you change your diet, your exercise routines, your daily habits permanently, usually because of some kind of crisis or influence that has you powerfully changed. Sometimes this can be something like somebody that drinks for years and years and years and then suddenly has liver failure and are forced to then, face this habit and then change things completely. This is just an example. Pluto here can bring enemies or judgmental people to the radar. Pluto here can bring job changes, tension and power struggles at work or with colleagues and people you deal with every day. It can deal with criminal jobs, secret job nature as also possibilities, or having contact with such people somehow. Be important now to detox regularly from all toxicity, including people, habits, actual toxins, etc. in your life. Lessen the obsessive control you feel you need over every single detail or some or all of this area of life. Maybe very obsessive about a health issue. You do have to put your health first now. Also, making sure you're more balanced body, mind, and soul. And it starts with consistent healthy habits, practical simplicity, and exercise. You have been transforming your lifestyle and daily functioning, or should have been. Now, Pluto will also ingress into your 7th house of Aquarius on the 23rd of March for a brief stay, moving in and out of Capricorn and Aquarius until its permanent stay by the end of 2024. But for now, we can get a taste of what this could bring. Now, relationship patterns you may experience profound changes in through one-on-one relationships. The people you encounter during this lengthy transit will be a mirror to you, triggering parts of your deeper self to be noticed, healed, as well as transformed. In some cases, you may have dealings with criminals or have to face many power struggles and underhanded action. Intense sexual relationships can begin, obsessive and controlling relationships, toxic relationships or dynamics of toxicity, and even breakups or stalking. If you were in a committed relationship, such as a marriage, it would probably not make it through a transit like this unless it is very, very sound and a fit. If it made it through this, it can probably make it through anything. A partner can undergo a permanent shift or change. A relationship that changes you on a deep, deep level is possible now. You may have health issues triggered at times, or even close life and death encounters with Pluto here, or a parent experiencing this, or a person very close to you. The lesson with Pluto in this area of your chart is to own your part in all of it, to realize that you cannot control others, that you cannot make someone love you the way you desire. You cannot lose something that is not yours. That is where your power lies. In letting go, you attract what is meant for you, but by clinging or chasing, you repel instead. How you relate and are perceived by the public will be completely transformed by the end of this transit. Now, Neptune has been in your 8th house of Pisces since 2011 and will be until 2025, where your imagination has been a lot more vivid. You may have been much more interested in occult sciences or taboo topics, sexual topics. You may be much more spiritually inclined and passionate about the deeper beliefs and values and meaning of life. You may become more aware of others' values. You may have been much more romantic or emotionally needy in relationships, yearning for deep fulfillment beyond explanation and maybe never fulfilled. So deep they can be. Joint financial resources or dealings with taxes or other people's money, investments, funding, or loans may have been through a time of disappointment or malfunctioning or misrepresentation or underhanded manners used in shared monies of sort with a spouse or in a business, or just misunderstandings in regards to joint resources in general. In some cases, this is a great time to go for psychotherapy and researching the afterlife and the deeper meanings of life. You may want to write songs or play music more and create deep and meaningful art and make deep and meaningful love. Your yearning here is for a deeper connection with a partner. This is not a good time to apply for loans or anything like that. Something here, though, is falling away and slowly being replaced as it's dissolving. If other transits support, in some cases, this can indicate a death or a hallucinogenic experience or hypnotic experience or some other life-changing event that doesn't necessarily have to be you, but can also be someone else that can change you in a deep way and affect you very deeply on an emotional way. All love relationships now will need to be deep for you to be immersed in it as you desire. Meaning and soul sharing love now. But it's exciting and it's adventurous, and there's also an aspect of freedom in this. Uranus has been in your 10th house of Taurus since 2018 and will be until 2026. And you may have been experiencing much changes, genius ideas, innovation, and solutions and unusual occurrences in this area of your professional life, your career, your life direction, your title, your reputation. This area of your life is being revolutionized now. Uranus here can indicate problems with authority or authority figures or a father figure, a radical change in your path, place of living, your health, a parent, or how the world sees you. It could even be your mom. You could become more of an activist or have a strong desire to break free in this area of life, of work. You may feel that your social status is being challenged. Some people can unexpectedly quit their job under Uranus's influence here, or do something others do not approve of. In some cases, you can have a genius idea with Uranus here, a fabulous invention, a sudden breakthrough that may at first feel like a breakdown, but that frees you in some way, make you more independent, more wide-eyed. You want to believe in what you do now. If you act irresponsibly now, you may suffer the consequences or experience a fall from power or a fall from grace in some way. Your marriage status can change with Uranus here. You could move to Timbuktu. You could unexpectedly become a parent. Money can be lost or gained. It can be erratic. You can reevaluate how your life path is reflecting your beliefs and your values. Has been pioneering through your 7th house of Aquarius for almost 3 years, paving the way for Pluto, and will be ingressing Pisces, your 8th house, on the 7th of March 2023 for almost 3 years. Now, while Saturn is in your 7th house, which Saturn has been in since December of 2020, you may have had a stronger focus on your love relationship or your spousal relationship or one-on-one business partnership, more hardships in relationships, more testing and demands and responsibilities, more effort needed to get along maybe. It can feel like the relationship has become work in some cases, or some could feel emotionally cut off from each other, from a partner. Someone can become ill, like a spouse, but the indicators could be there that you need to seek help with the relationship or seek wisdom or counseling in some way. And find practical solutions and therapy that can help you work on your issues. Sometimes you can be learning discipline through your partner with Saturn here. Your responsibilities in the relationship will become or could come more of a debate during this transit. Your responsibilities in the relationship may feel a bit unfair or uncomfortable at first, or maybe heavy. Saturn here can sometimes indicate a separation or ending of a relationship, or a part of it, or phase of it. In other cases, it can mean you're physically separated, or there is a somber tone to the relationship dynamic, or you may take it to the next level, such as getting married or getting engaged and becoming more serious about the relationship. Some can feel lonely in the relationship. You have been redefining yourself for many years now. And by the end of this transit, you will have decided who you are in regards to your one-on-one relationship, or in a marriage, or a committed agreement of some kind. If you have been working hard over this transit, you may have, over the transit of Saturn, when it was in your 6th house of work and everyday habits, if you worked hard during that time and you really put in the grunt work, you may be rewarded during this transit while Saturn has been here. So you will be also more decided on agreements and whether you want to live up to them or not. You will understand your relationship dynamics so much more. Regardless, you will require some sort of freedom in relationships, and you may settle on an unconventional view, but one that works for you. Saturn will ingress Pisces from March in your 8th house. And while in your 8th, you may be able to see things more objectively, especially troublesome issues. Saturn here can harden the emotions or strengthen emotional detachment. There can be a sense of rejection or a sense of acceptance, but not really an in-between. Your finances and joint resources may become a topic. No alimony or denied bank loans, or an income stream ending, or lack of financial assistance in some way are possibilities. The conflict you can experience with Saturn here is there to allow for growth and healing. But through this transit, you will realize who your real friends are, and you will realize you have to strengthen your ability to stand on your own 2 feet and not depend on anyone. Emotionally for happiness, or financially for stability and survival. Some can ponder death and the deeper side of life more. Some can experience a death that touches them deeply and changes them in some way, and it makes you realize how fragile life really is. And you may ponder your own mortality and how you are living your life, and how you want to live it going forward from here, and how you want to commit to a deeper intimacy level, a deeper feeling of life, and really being present through the ups and the downs as just a journey, a ride, without judgment or fear of imperfection, and just with good intent to just live deeply, even if it's by yourself. Jupiter is in Aries in your 9th house until May 16th, when it enters Taurus, your 10th house. Now, Jupiter here can add focus and momentum to begin further studies, or teaching, or publishing, or disseminating information in some way. A travel opportunity could appear, or you may decide to expand your knowledge regarding metaphysics or spirituality or religion, or philosophy or even another language of some kind. You may start a new book or begin to write one. You meet or connect with foreign people or people very different from you or that have different beliefs than you. And you may teach overseas or initiate this idea. You may want to back up a belief with more research and study on it in order to spread factual information far and wide about it. You may spend more time in church, with children and in learning institutions, or praying, or meditating, or searching for higher meaning, and learning much about the world around you, as well as higher perspectives on life and your purpose in it. Now, while in your 10th house, as of May, your house of career, path of life, reputation, your occupation, your title, your marital status, Jupiter can bring opportunity for growth, success, and blessing here. But it would be up to you to take the opportunity and do something with it. There can be travel plans here, or meetings, or dealings with foreign people or interests, a promotion at work, working with children or in the arts somehow, taking a new course at work to expand your horizons there, learning new things at work, receiving new clients, getting a new job, changing your life path or direction. You could be getting a divorce. You could be getting married. There could be a death of someone or an old way of life to begin again. Sometimes this can be connected to a parent. There needs to be a caution for arrogance, exaggeration, and boasting, or you may experience issues with superiors or peers or a father figure. In many cases, it can bring financial success or some kind of celebration, like I said, a marriage or the birth of a child. All in all, a very positive transit of relief, or a relief and some kind of exhale of freedom in some way, a positive outcome, an excitement, a new direction, something that's fueling you, a new attitude or treatment, but wisdom is gained throughout this transit. Now, the 1st of June, Jupiter will conjunct the North Node in Taurus, which can bring powerful and fortunate connections, a lucky break, an opportunity to act towards your future, healing, a financial blessing, or change, or a modality of healing, or an ultimate release. Mars will begin the year in retrograde. Please check out the Mars retrograde in Gemini video. I'll put the link in the description box. Mars will be retrograde until about mid-January. In your 11th house, where you've been more actively formulating goals and rethinking them, and you may have been actively pursuing them or preparing to do so. Your work is more geared towards the future with Mars here, and sometimes it can make it harder to work within a group dynamic or a team environment, as you're naturally more selfish with a transit like this. You may have more tension or friction within coworker dynamics and group dynamics, more change. There can be conflict between friends or groups that you belong to. Therefore, working by yourself or more independently in some way can be better. Focus on being more cooperative with others if you can. This can be great for new inventive ideas, for group sport, especially if you're trying to connect with teammates. You are acting upon your future now, and your work must have some sort of personal gratification to it. As of the 25th of March, Mars will be moving into your 12th house of Cancer, where you can possibly be working more behind the scenes or more from a distance, in the background, or maybe remotely in a faraway place. Or you're taking a break from work, changing how you do things, or taking a much needed holiday or retreat somewhere where you can work on your inner psychology. During Mars's transit here, you can find that your subconscious behaviors can come out in uncomfortable ways. creating strange experiences with people where you communicate in ways that they do not understand, or what you're trying to say is carried over the wrong way. You can just make the wrong impression much easier, especially if you're impulsive or if you're reacting emotionally, in the moment, in the passionate moment. You can have secret enemies with this placement, even as a family member or a parent. Gossip and harsh words can be going on now. It is important to avoid upsetting situations and people. If traveling overseas, be more careful as you are more accident prone now. Self-sabotaging behavior can be brought up now to work on, such as unhealthy sexual obsessions, drugs and alcohol, speaking badly about others. This is a great time to go for counseling or therapy, or to work on something by yourself, to work on yourself, to ask yourself, where am I defeating myself? This is also a great time to channel your pain and work on healing your pain, your emotional turmoil and frustrations regarding home and tradition and in-laws, through helping others, volunteering, focusing on others' pain and taking care of yourself, bettering yourself, healing your own emotional needs by becoming whole yourself, or a more whole version. I don't think we're ever fully whole. I'm just going to take a sip of my tea here. Now Mars will ingress into your first house of Leo as of the 20th of May. Now your first house of self, where you may feel more energetic, more assertive, and action-oriented towards your approach and perspective on life and your identity itself. Mars here can bring an increase in energy, libido, aggressiveness, impulsiveness, energy fluctuations. In some cases, you can act more selfishly with Mars here, even though you might be unaware of it, or have a short fuse, possibly not as willing to cooperate or compromise much. It would be therefore better to rather work alone during this time if you can, or more independently in some way, because you will want your own way more. Maybe have many more arguments or confrontations because of this, because you'll be able to really assert yourself. But you'll be able to accomplish much now. You're in a go-go mode, and a new love interest can show up, or a new work opportunity can present itself now. You are more accident prone now, so you can be more susceptible to health issues as well. Nervous tension, headaches, inflammation, taking better care of your lungs, your joints, your muscles. There can be more injuries to hands, arms, shoulders, nervous tension, like I mentioned, or anything in regards to the nerves and electrical impulses, burns, electrical and technological issues as well, are just more likely. So think before you speak, before you drive, before you do. It might also be a good time to check into the condition of your vehicle. Now, from around the 21st of May, there, just a few days after Mars ingresses Leo in your first house, Mars will oppose Pluto at 0 degrees of Leo and Aquarius, which can indicate the potential for raw passion and intense sexual attractions, as well as the possibility of power struggles and arguments, competition, and even violence. So keep that in your awareness and stay out of conflict or confrontation if you can. If you cannot avoid this, get assistance if needed. A few days after, Mars will square Jupiter in Taurus in the first few degrees, on which time it could be good for you to move forward on new projects. It would be important to stay realistic and not overextend yourself. On the 26th of June, Mars in Leo will square Uranus in Taurus at 21 degrees. It will be important to remember that new challenges need new solutions, not old ways. There can be a restlessness here or a rebelliousness of wanting to break free from something or someone or a pattern of some kind. So it will be important to notice the signs and create change that you can systematically create in order to not completely throw the baby out with the bathwater, waiting until it's too late. You can be more accident prone now. It is important to work out physically, getting rid of that anxiety and stress, but safely, and be more careful using any kind of machinery. Mars will move into your second house of Virgo as of the 10th of July, where you may be taking practical action towards change in the area of your work, how you earn a living, your committed relationships, your past and family, and also possibly your diet. Mars here can have you try out more spicy foods. It can have you eating faster. Therefore, be more cautious regarding choking. It can also have you speaking faster and harsher words. You can feel much more busy, also weighing options here. Mars can have you spending more money now or more impulsively, so be more cautious. For some, this can indicate buying a home or property. You may be working more on your home now, adding comfort and functionality, or cooking more. Some could be thinking of working from home or starting a business. There can be a higher chance of throat or neck injuries, also inflammation here or issues with the thyroid. Arguments can arise here regarding income, financial topics, ownership, property, possessions, etc. You could be deciding on when to take action regarding investments. Also, topics that I mentioned, buying and selling, and also defending your values can really come up now. Your self-worth and how you identify with what you own will be up for growth. Remember, you're not what you do or own or who you're married to, and your worth cannot be measured by that. It is a great time to cut any negative ancestral influences and transform these from darkness into light, breaking the blood patterns. Mars will oppose Neptune just before entering Libra, and this can be a slowdown or disappointment for some, or you can be more prone to illness or infections at this time. Therefore, stay away from alcohol consumption that can get out of control. Take more care of your health as well as your mental health. Mars ingresses Libra, your third house, on the 27th of August, where you can experience emotional ups and downs. Sometimes this can involve family, friends, neighbors, or siblings. You could be more busy doing paperwork or overthinking or making decisions, taking a new learning course, actively learning more or teaching, or even dealing with new technology or technological issues, or you could be buying a new vehicle, more everyday busyness with appointments and schedules. You could need to look into the condition of your vehicle, your commute to work, and your surrounding neighborhood can all be topics up now. There is more possibility for arguments with neighbors, or there may just be more construction in your area, or maybe you're helping a neighbor or working on mending that fence. There can be more emotional conversation connected to your mother or your home or family or friends or siblings in some way. Some could be working on a speech or have more activity connected to social media or even arguments there or debating. So be more cautious driving, as you can be more accident prone now and impulsive. Think before you speak, as this transit can have you using harsh words and being more defensive about your views, and especially due to the more emotional mental stimulation at this time. In the first week of October, Mars will conjunct the South Node in Libra and oppose the North Node in Aries, also whilst squaring Pluto in Capricorn. Mars here can indicate withdrawing from physical confrontation. Energy levels can feel more depleted, more passive aggressive. This can also indicate putting your gun down in relationships, a ceasefire or a giving up, or ending it or healing it, or letting go of the habits that no longer work constructively for you. You could be finding balance between your mind and beliefs of others, defending your views. You could be involved in more conflict with neighbors, friends, siblings, or online, maybe a debate over opinions or a turning point in a relationship. Mars will ingress Scorpio in your 4th house on October the 12th, where you can experience emotional ups and downs. Sometimes this can involve family or a parent. Past subconscious feelings can come up now almost explosively. You can spend time moving or working from or on your home. There can be more fighting at home or a sense of wanting to live alone. It can feel as if someone's trying to block you in some way, or maybe even you are blocking yourself in some way. This is a time where it is easier for you or a parent to get injured at home. So be more careful around knives in the kitchen and don't leave candles unattended. Try to be more compromising where you can. Avoid being overly bossy and demanding, and see where you may be acting too selfishly. There can be more violence and action in your place of birth as well, or ancestral roots or home or location. On the 29th of October, Mars opposes Jupiter in Taurus, which can bring luck or favorable action. You may want to do more on a physical level, or you can find favorable action in one-on-one relationships or business partnerships. Just make sure you act without selfishness, that you stay within your means and not act foolishly. This is a time that you can birth a new kind of connection or partnership, or a topic associated with your life path or your soul purpose, your career, your home, your past, your deepest and innermost feelings about yourself, a parent, your family, your reputation, your title, and your marital status. I just want to take another sip of my tea. Now, on the 24th of November, Mars will ingress Sagittarius in your 5th house, which can enhance leadership ability. Your drive for power and control and the urge to succeed can increase. You could start a new relationship at this time, or be more sexual or romantic or more expressive. It's good to work on a relationship now if you're having issues, and try new exciting things to spice it up. If you're in a committed relationship, you may partake in sport of some kind. You could start your own business or make your creative hobbies into more of a serious side hustle. This is also a time where there can be more conflict involving a child, or arguments, and also the possibilities of accidents with a child. They could be going through hormonal developments at this time, or changing of phase, becoming more independent. It is also more possible to be more nitpicky with children or your own creative work. But you will be much more attentive to detail now and crossing those T's. So avoid being too judgmental, and remind children to be more safe, as they can be more accident prone as well. Spending more time with your children or around children could be good for you and for them at this time. A child may require more attention or help with more work. In some cases, a child could be starting a job. There is more possibility now for getting pregnant. So if you don't want to be pregnant, be more careful. But there is a strong likelihood that you could meet someone new now, or have more opportunity to work on your love relationship. So take action and have more fun. But also be aware that Mars here can also, in some cases, bring in miscarriages. So it is important to also be aware of that. There would, of course, need to be other transits that also support this kind of thing. Mars will square Saturn upon its entry into Sagittarius at 0 degrees of Pisces. This can be frustrating in getting things done. The key is to work slow and steady, and with consistent progress, you will make it. Pushing too hard right now is not a good idea. Some can experience a blockage in their forward progress due to fear of not being good enough. You may need to face who you truly are and not take others' opinions as a validation of who you are. Mars in Sagittarius will square Neptune in Pisces on the 28th of December. So the year ends on this note where you may feel discouraged or not happy with how something turned out. There can be doubt or confusion about something or a feeling of inadequacy in some way. Either way, regardless, whether you made a right or a wrong turn, giving up is not an option now. So you'll have to face yourself, not others, and make the changes you know in your heart is right. Pray and listen to your intuition. Don't people please. You must not do anything devious to try and fix the situation, and you must take care of your own health, as you may feel quite lethargic or even ill with disappointment for some. But remind yourself that this too shall pass. This is, of course, worst case scenario. It can simply be a small disappointment, a hospital visit, or the need to speak to someone that can help you find direction. Do what you can and surrender the rest to God. Retrogrades for Mercury this year will be in all earth signs. And between December 13th and February, there could be a lot more chaos involving travel cancellations or changes and traffic and extreme weather patterns, infrastructure chaos, jobs and pay not working out, changes in politicians, and all kinds of Mercury travel and commuting and movement situations, even with mail, etc. So just be aware of that. On the 29th of December till the 18th of January, Mercury will retrograde in Capricorn from 24 degrees to 8 degrees. And this will be in your 6th house. Now, with every Mercury retrograde, it's a time where there can be misunderstandings and mishaps. Conversations can go haywire, negotiations can go haywire, technology issues, travel issues. You could send an email to the wrong person or, take something the wrong way. But when Mercury retrogrades through Capricorn specifically, it targets the areas of life that Capricorn rules, like career, ambition, your public status, your marital status, and so forth. So this is usually a time where you can experience setbacks or a clash with authority or something that makes room for you to assess and reassess that situation or that area of life. So it really is a kind of protection in a way that helps you to give it another chance or do something better a different way, to see where you can improve things and what you can do better. But for you, this will be happening in your 6th house, which will be dealing more also with reorganizing possibly your workspace or your office, sorting out your diary, reworking your routines, your daily health habits, reconnecting with colleagues, and reflecting on your relationships with them. Sometimes, there can be issues in regards to teamwork, making sure everyone has the proper information. Sometimes this transit can, just need you to be more flexible, as there can be just a lot of changes. Routines and habits can really be a good thing to work on at this time. And in matters of health, you can really reassess, how are you doing in this area and what do you need to change? It's also not a great idea to start a new job or a new position or or do anything, get a new computer or a new microphone for your office, and things like that while Mercury is retrograde here, because things can always change again. There's also, it's also better to not embark on a course of treatment for an illness, unless you don't really cannot wait with it. If you're waiting for like a second opinion and so forth. So unless there are serious consequences for postponement, a second opinion is a good idea when Mercury is direct and before embarking on a course of treatment. But time is better spent on researching things, researching the food you eat, gathering recipes, and just educating yourself more on these areas of health, for example. Now, in your 10th house, Mercury will retrograde from the 21st of April till the 14th of May. In Taurus, from 15 degrees to 5 degrees. So it'll be important to take care of old business, finish the job you started. A change in status can sometimes be indicated by this transit, or a promotion or a job loss. There can be communication issues with a manager. Misunderstandings can cause frustration. It's important to not apply for a new job or a career with Mercury retrograde here. Reapplying for a job you didn't get before is more favorable. But yes, use this period to consider whether you're happy doing what you're doing, and if there's something else you'd rather train for or apply for. Researching other careers and connecting with people that work in those areas are great time spent during this time. You can also do a lot of just crossing T's and improvements on topics associated with work or marketing yourself or revamping your public image and so forth. So you will be redefining, reappointing, retiring or reorientating this area of your life. Now on the 23rd of August till the 15th of September, Mercury will be retrograding in Virgo from 21 degrees to 8 degrees, and this will be in your second house. So take a look at what you hold dear. You may ask yourself if it's worth it. Sometimes unexpected money situations can happen with this retrograde, and you may be, be looking at what you really value in your life, and you may be having more conversations about how you make money, really thinking about your skills and your talents and how to move forward in this area, and all of that. So you may get an unexpected overdue bill, but avoid making major purchases until after Mercury is direct. And it's better to sort of get organized in your spending, make a new budget, look at everything that you are not using that you can maybe let go of, maybe set up a savings account, and so forth. And also look at how you are identifying with this area of your life. Are you identifying with the money you make? Are you comparing your self-worth to your career, your job, and all of that? But this will also have you rethinking your values now, and also your self-worth. Now, July 22nd to the 3rd of September, there will be a Venus retrograde in Leo. Venus will be here for a long time in 2023. Now, during Venus retrogrades, we are rethinking style, beauty, our values, our self-worth, fairness, justice, choices, partners, food, comfort, pleasure, what we desire, nature, money, balance, and of course, love. Love is our favorite for Venus. Now, Venus will retrograde in your first house. So this is about self-love for you. This is the big lesson for you. And it will inspire you to put yourself first more. It might have you pampering yourself more, or, trying to start new positive morning habits of positive affirmations, maybe a health routine in the morning, or a new beauty routine in the morning, and reshaping the way you appear, maybe getting a new haircut, or, just both physically and personality wise. There will be a beautifying happening here on an internal level that will be also coming more outward. This is a process of just becoming more of a refined version of you, but also be patient with yourself, as these types of transformations can take time, and they start inside first. Now, Mars will retrograde in Gemini from the 30th of October till the 12th of January. So also check out my in-depth video about that in the description box below, and also the individual rising sign video link for you. But in general, how are you using your energy? What is worth your energy? How is your drive? Is your work fulfilling? Are you listening to your body? And what are you passionate about? This is happening for you in the 11th house. When Mars retrogrades here, you may find that you're not asserting yourself as well among friends or peers or colleagues. And maybe your needs are being put aside for the sake of your tribe. How can you, gain your place back without upsetting too many people? Alternatively, it can mean you are just taking more political action, or more of a social service kind of position. You may find yourself bonding with other people that are like-minded, that are passionate about changing society for the better. You could be actively redoing a license of some kind, like a driver's license or a gun license or something like that, having to redo it. I would not do it or apply for it while Mars is retrograde. I would wait to do that once Mars is direct. Now, Jupiter will be retrograding while Jupiter retrogrades, we can be more in tune with the deeper meaning of life, the deeper values and beliefs of life, and want to connect more on a spiritual level. We have to work a little harder for our opportunities with Jupiter retrograde. We benefit more, though, on a spiritual level, and we become more compassionate, more generous, more inward reflecting on what's good and wholesome, what is the truth. And we become more contemplative and try to do good and see good in others. But we must also be careful of not being overly forgiving or being used. Now, Jupiter will be retrograding the 4th of September till the 30th of December, from 15 degrees of Taurus to 5 degrees Taurus. And this will be in your 10th house. Now, with Jupiter retrograding here, you could possibly change your mind about what you're doing for a living, especially if your job isn't spiritually aligned to your purpose or satisfying you on a more spiritual level, or if it's somehow going against what you believe. So this can be a period where you're rethinking your calling, maybe retraining for something, taking a pay cut, or, but this can, again, of course, change once Jupiter goes direct. So just be aware that there can be shifts taking place and to not make any permanent decisions until Jupiter is direct again, if you can help it. But you will not be as concerned about earning money with Jupiter here. It will be more of a meaning connected to what you do that will be important here. Now, usually during Saturn retrogrades, we are reminded of reality, the aspects of life we cannot avoid, rules, responsibilities, fears, the length of life, taxes, restrictions, authority, time itself, father figures, commitments, etc. Now, Saturn will retrograde from 17 January until the 4th of November, from 7 degrees to 0 degrees Pisces in your 8th house. Now, while retrograding here, this is a realization about control and your karmic need for it, or your fight against it. And so it's important to think about things that you cannot control and how this is affecting your mental health, your emotional health. How can you better handle these things? And how are you handling power and control in your life? Is there a balance there, or is there something out of balance? Now, the eclipses will be happening in Taurus, Scorpio, Aries, and Libra, and I'll be going into more depth about these in the coming year at that time. But eclipses are activated during the time of the eclipse, but they can also be unfolding 6 months prior and post, and even longer at times. So remember that it's not necessarily always the day or the week of that something might occur, but sometimes they do. But this is an unfolding that can take a 6-month period or longer. Now, 20 April, there will be an annular total solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Aries in your 9th house. And this can bring new beginnings and changes, turnarounds, breakthroughs in the area of higher learning, deeper understandings, the spiritual mind, religion, patterns, rituals. There can be a travel or learning opportunity, travel for teaching, or you may meet someone that stimulates you more intellectually. You could start an import and export business or begin immigration paperwork, or you may delve deeper into philosophy and the deeper meanings of life. You could receive powerful spiritual revelations now, and you may want to share your passion with the world. In some cases, it can indicate legal issues or topics connected to the father, the in-laws, and your relationship with God. But eclipses in general will affect you more because the sun rules your chart. So every lunation and every eclipse will be a strong effect for you. Now, the 5th of May, there's a penumbral lunar eclipse at 15 degrees of Scorpio in your 4th house. And this is a culmination or an ending or something coming to light or fruition or completion in some way, full circle, in the area of the home, the past, your childhood, your family, your country of origin, your parents, a move. You could have changes in who lives in your home, people leaving or selling things in the home, or a sewage issue or a water issue, a change in responsibilities in the home. Some kind of crisis at home or with a parent can appear in some cases if other transits support. You could decide to redecorate or minimize or redo or repaint furniture to give it a new look. An emotional self-control issue can be triggered to work on during this time. So this will be a good time to dig into where these wounds can be coming from. Forgive so that you can move on. It's never good to allow unforgiveness to fester. But again, for each individual, these eclipses can affect you in different ways. If the eclipse, has a lot of negative energy, naturally, it doesn't necessarily always affect your chart that way. It will also include your unique chart to the intrinsic communications of these planets. So these are only possibilities in general for the rising sign that you have. Now on the 14th of October, there will be an annular solar eclipse at 21 Libra in your third house, a new beginning or seed of intention or new perspective in the area of understanding and the mind, a new course, a new technology, a change in your neighborhood, new beginnings connected to siblings, friends and neighbors. You could change your mind on something or start a new online career or teach or start a course of study, a new language, maybe make a new friend or a sibling, change something in your daily schedule or commute to work, a new vehicle or a change here. It would be good to check if your vehicle needs a tune-up at this time, the beginning of a new story, of paperwork of some kind, or a new book. Just hang on one second. Now on the 28th of October, there will be a partial lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Taurus in your 10th house, an ending or something coming to a culmination or a fullness or a completion in the area of career, a change in position, change in status or reputation, or topics concerning a parent, children, bosses, a crisis that can take you back to your roots, a change in direction in life, maybe a concern regarding a cousin. In some cases, this can indicate issues with authority or the law or a conviction of some sort, a change in responsibilities, a change in income or values, a change in marital status, or a change in your responsibilities as a parent. Well, thank you for listening, Leo. You are becoming more aware of your passionate creativity and emotional desires this year, how you relate, your path forward, how you use your power, what you want to be known for, and what you want to come home to. A spiritual awakening awaits in 2023. May the sun shine bright on you this day. May there be blessings coming your way. May you have a wonderful 2023. Until next time. Bye-bye.